This is Breaking Sports News.
Powered by Valvoline Instant Oil Change.
On 98.5, The Sports Hub.
All right, Adam Schefter just tweeted this out. It's a new era in New England. The Patriots have hired Jerod Mayo as their next head coach. He will be formally introduced at a press conference next week.
All right.
Okay. So it will be Jerod Mayo.
So much for the search.
So much for Mike Reese today. He's going to be long gone. All right. Jerod Mayo is the coach, which means that it's going to be very interesting to see what they do with the general manager position. Because all right, so here's what's on the table now. So everyone that I've ever talked to says that Jerod Mayo is an excellent head coaching candidate. They say that he is the future, that he is great with the players, this, that, and the other thing. If you read Bert Beer's article, he talks about how Jerod Mayo and Belichick weren't communicating this much this year because he had something in his contract that gave him basically was pretty much promising him the head coaching job, and Belichick didn't want that kind of autonomy or thought that was too much power to give to another coach. So the two of them weren't seeing eye to eye. What this does is, according to everyone we've ever talked to, this means that Bill O'Brien's probably going to be back as offensive coordinator. He's still under contract. And it means that I don't know how this is going to positively impact your GM search. Because ideally, what we all thought the Patriots should do is clean house, take someone that the Crafts thought was the most capable and make them in charge of football operations, have them hire the coach, and then the GM and the coach be a tandem, work in concert,
Agreed.
Hire the staff, evaluate the roster, and go from there.
Which is generally how it is done, yes.
But if you want to compare it to baseball, this seems a lot like a situation that was with the Red Sox when you tell the general manager, here is your head coach. Not only that, here is your head coach, and he's a first-year head coach. So if I'm a general manager candidate that has other options or believes that I will have other options in the future, I don't want this job anymore. By the way, Crash Clark, nice enough to text us that information. Jerod Mayo, the new coach of your New England Patriots.
Thank you.
Prioritize.
Thank you, Crash.
Crash substantiates it.
Oh. Got sources.
Your thoughts?
I think this is obviously something that was contracted with Jerod Mayo. Why else? How else could the Patriots have convinced him not to go even so much as interview for the Carolina job unless they promised him he would be the head coach here? Now, I am also certain that the Patriots did not want to do this year. They probably thought they had another year or two of bringing Mayo along in the coaching ranks, working with Bill, getting ready for the job. But if they were obligated to do it and they felt good enough about their decision to keep him from interviewing anywhere else and making this deal with him, okay, you may not feel as good about it as you would a year or two from now, but you felt good enough about it before, so now they're doing it. They're honoring what they already agreed to.
The succession plan was in place. As you said, they're honoring the contract that Jerod Mayo signed, and they get around the Rooney Rule because, according to the NFL Network, yesterday the league was very well aware of this clause. Somehow this clause circumvents the Rooney Rule.
Well, the Rooney Rule is to minority candidates. It's to get minority candidates job interviews. So I would imagine if you're hiring a minority candidate, that would affect the Rooney Rule in some way. No?
I don't know if it does. I think you still have to interview multiple candidates from outside the organization.
I think Bert was on with the Midday Show yesterday. They asked him that, and I think it was Bert that said you still have to go through the process.
Okay, so Zolak didn't know either.
Well, you still have to interview multiple people outside of the organization unless there is a clear succession plan in place.
And that was the case
by contract. So
it's like the morning show vacancy.
You
got to have some charade.
Went through the whole charade.
Yeah.
All right. So, yeah.
But I think for just on the purposes of math, Fred, it's like when you're talking about Vrabel and whether or not he would be here. I always thought Vrabel was, would have been a good choice. But I also thought, well, Vrabel's going to have multiple opportunities and multiple offers. I mean, whether it's here or other NFL teams or Ohio State. And quite frankly, he's the more desirable candidate because he's done it before. Now, Mayo may end up being 10 times the coach that Vrabel is, but Vrabel is more of a known entity, and I think that makes him a more desirable prospect for other teams, and that also lessened his chances of ending up with the job here. Now it's obvious. No, it was always going to be Mayo.
Well, if I'm Jerod Mayo, you're taking over a team with a substantial lack of talent, and I don't know who's going to be in charge of picking the talent in the future. So if you're a friend of Jerod Mayo, and we knew Jerod Mayo, we knew him. We used to have him on the show weekly. He was been in studio several times.
Yeah.
I like the guy a lot, and he had success in the brief time he was out of football. He had success in the outside of football. Like he's a smart guy, but this is not an ideal situation for him at all. You're replacing Bill Belichick, and who the hell knows what kind of GM you're going to get in here trying to rebuild a roster from scratch. But I do believe, unlike Bert, I believe the fan base knows and is smart enough, you'd hope, to realize that this isn't going to turn around overnight.